Mike McCoy got it for me, actually. Yeah.
He's an alright guy.
Nah, I hate him.
Yeah, I can understand.
I don't
that.
hate him. I just
What's up with you and Mike's?
Huh?
You talking about Mike Johnson last week, Mike McCoy this week?
Yeah, dude.
How's that water? Is it water?
It is water, actually. Hydrocell. $20.48 on Amazon for a pack of one.
So if you're watching, you'll notice our location changed. Where are we at now, Chris?
We're in the office of the Body Shop Sports Massage.
Did you say Stacy's Massage Parlor? Why did you call that before we got on the air? And now you're calling it.
Yeah.
Now you're calling it
Huh,
the
dude?
Body Shop. I don't understand. And intern Brandon's not with us today, so we don't have anybody to check the camera for us. Oh, safety first. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that because you're protecting yourself or you're protecting me from you?
Both?
Good. Thank you.
Taking
Appreciate
precautions.
that.
Being a considerate person.
Chris, you excited to have everyone back in the gym this week?
I am. Are you?
I am. Coaching tonight. It's gonna be a night.
It's your first night back coaching.
It is.
Nice. You're going to have a lot of people tell you that they're sore.
Yeah, a lot of folks will probably be sore this week, especially if you didn't have an opportunity to do a whole lot while we were out. And even if you did have an opportunity to do a whole lot, you're probably doing some movements that we didn't.
It's really hot.
Yeah, that you didn't have an opportunity to do. So I would expect some soreness coming out of this week. So
yeah. Why do you think people are getting super sore from the workouts this week? Is it A, the workouts are really hard, B, they're going harder in the workouts, C, they're doing movements they haven't done in a while, or D, it's all in their head, or E, all of the above?
I'm going to say B and C.
B and C.
B and C.
I don't even remember what I gave you as an option for B and C.
B and C. Kind of like GNC, not a sponsor.
Yeah, but GM is.
Yeah.
So B and C, B meaning they. I get my letters mixed up, dog. I hadn't passed an alphabet test in years.
Don't be coming at me like you're dyslexic. We know there's only one person in the room that struggles with that. So
Shouts out, Grandpa. B was going harder than they usually do.
yeah,
And C was doing movements they haven't done in a while.
that's exactly right.
All right. Now, why do you think it would make you more sore? Or
Why do I think it would make you more sore?
yeah,
Going harder than you normally do, you would accumulate more volume than what you normally do at a different intensity than what you normally do. One of the great things about CrossFit is that normally it's done in a group setting, and when people work out in a group setting, they push themselves a little bit harder than what they would on their own. So as far as going harder than what you normally do, you just higher volume, more intensity, and that in itself is going to make you a little more sore. And then the change up in movements, I mean, we've got box jumps today. If you haven't box jumped in 3 months, that's going to put a different strain on your muscles and on your tendons than what you've had. So
yeah. Yeah, I think too often people look at like soreness. It's a useful sign, but too many people are like, well, you shouldn't get super sore, or there's some people who are like, you shouldn't get sore at all, and then there's people out there that think if they're not getting sore, they're not getting a good workout. But then you got the other group of people who are like, if you're getting sore, they want to avoid it at all costs.
Absolutely.
It depends on your situation at hand, but anytime, C is probably the biggest one to me. Anytime you're doing a movement you haven't done, even a slight change, if you go from doing dumbbell deadlifts to barbell deadlifts, odds are you're going to be sore, even if it was light. It's just a slightly different pattern.
It's different pattern, different muscles being activated.
It's making your muscles activate differently. It's making your muscle fibers lengthen in a different pattern. Even that slight change. It's kind of like you could take someone who deadlifts all the time, twice a week, light and heavy, whatever, and then you have them do good mornings. And they'll come to you and be like, my back and hamstrings are really sore. It's like you only did 10% of your deadlift max or something. Yeah. Be like, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
it's just that different stimulus, slightly different stimulus. So, being sore in and of itself is not I would say it's not a good or bad sign this week, as long as you've been approaching the workouts with some idea of tailoring it back a little bit. The workouts so far this week haven't been to where you're going to hurt yourself putting yourself into max intensity, because they're meant to go fast and lighter and just move and build up your GPP again and build up the general physical preparedness again. But make sure you're just not using too heavy of weights unless it's prescribed. So some people are really sore. How do we go about remedying that? What's the next step? What should someone keep in mind if they're really sore this week?
As crazy as this sounds, and I've thought about it several times as we've gotten ready to transition back into the gym, we did have some members that didn't have an opportunity to work out as much as they'd like to. Maybe you put on a little bit of extra weight. Maybe you're not where you want to be. Like, I'm going to get back to the gym today, and I'm going to start a cut today too in my caloric intake, and that will onset soreness as quick as anything. That'll, as quick as a variance in movement, cutting back that caloric intake is going to onset soreness. So if you fall into that category, that's one of the very first things that I would look at is, did I cut too hard on my calories? And then from there, just taking care of the little stuff, making sure, hey, I'm sore, but still continuing to try to move through ranges of motion. If you allow soreness to sit there and get stiff and not move, that soreness is gonna stay with you longer. So really sore, I'd recommend coming in, riding a bike, riding a rower, doing a little bit of low intensity static stretching, not trying to kill whatever soreness is there with static stretching, but some low intensity static stretching, making sure you're moving through that range of motion. And you can even go to the extent of utilizing some things like a cold shower or an ice bath to help out with any type of soreness. I would stay away from things like ibuprofen. That's folks' first impulse is, I'm sore, my back's sore, let me throw some 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. I would not do that. I would stay away from that. So
ibuprofen is one of those things that is it's not bad to take ibuprofen, but it's like anything, there's reasons to take it. So if a doctor prescribes it because you're in a state in which getting the inflammation down is imperative to improve your health, then it's a good spot to take it. Taking it to relieve muscle soreness is not a good time to take it, because it actually impairs the ability of the body to send the signal to repair that inflammation. So inflammation is being sent to the muscle group that's been used, and when you take ibuprofen, it shuts the signal off of sending the things that are going to repair your muscles to that location. So actually you're kind of shutting off your muscle repair mechanism when you take ibuprofen, or at least that's what the current literature says on that.
And that's a lot on ibuprofen. If you have questions about that, feel free to ask one of the coaches on the coaching staff, because like Chris said, we're not saying that you don't ever need to take it. There's never a reason, but for your basic muscle soreness, we don't recommend you taking it.
That's not the spot to take it. And the first thing you're talking about, caloric intake, is also a good point, especially I've had quite a few clients who have been doing a great job of losing weight, and they've been on more of a calorie cut. You gotta understand that's gonna affect your training coming back in. For those who have been on a cut that really value their weightlifting or strength numbers, understand that even as you get back into the flow of things, your weight numbers may be lower just simply from the fact that you have less tissue on your body. Whether it's fat or muscle, more body weight lends to more compression around joints and changes lever systems and things like that within your body. So just losing the weight can make you weaker, and it doesn't even matter necessarily if it's fat or muscle all the time. Another big thing when it comes to those clients who have been, this is more for the people who have been cutting and are coming back, be aware that you're probably going to have some hunger spikes this week.
Absolutely.
So if you've been doing really good on, whatever it is, macros or anything like that, you've been falling away eating, and it's accomplishing exactly what you want it to accomplish, as long as it's doing that, you're going to have to kind of deal with those hunger pains this week, and don't spike your eating, right? But like Aaron was saying, you got to understand calories are going to affect your recovery as well. So that may mean for you to dial back your intensity a little bit and be mindful of that as you're completing the workouts, to maybe go at 90%, not 100%, things like that. You kind of limit it. And another one he was talking about, just keep moving. Your muscles, the way you flush out all the, for lack of going too far into it,
the bad stuff.
The bad stuff, you know what I mean? Is motion. It gets pumped out into not your bloodstream, but your lymphatic system. So it flushes all that out, and that's how you get the good nutrients back into the muscle, and flush the bad stuff out. When you're not moving, the lymphatic system is not working as heavily. All right, so the muscles actually respond really well to light activation to recover. So before or after workouts this week, or even if you're not going to come into class, but you need to come in and move and maybe ask a coach for something to do or whatever, there's plenty of stuff to do outside. I know it's hot, but go for a walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you are in a current situation where you don't need to be walking for prolonged times in the heat, whether it's one of our clients who has like really bad asthma or anything like that, unless you fall into that category, go move. Go walk for 40 minutes and then do an air squat, and you'll be like, oh, that doesn't feel quite as bad as I thought it was going to do. That's just because you've gotten the muscle moving and heated up.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
All good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's a short one this week.
Yeah, it is a short one, but unlike last week, that was packed with a lot of useless information.
I thought last week,
we got a lot
if you haven't watched last week, I thought it was our funniest episode.
And Brandy, don't think I didn't see that shade you threw my way about not being able to trust me.
Well, she won't wrong.
You can't trust me?
Sometimes.
Why do you think I can't?
Sometimes you'll.
What? Give me one lie I've ever told you. One lie I've ever told you.
It's not really lying. It's you'll encourage me to do things that could possibly hurt myself.
Such as? I'm not going to disagree with this one, but I do want to hear an example of it. So
yeah, one time we were singing, doing karaoke, and you told me to do some song that would not match my personality. I don't remember the song, but I remember that conversation.
That got you out of your comfort zone. So.
No, that's different.
That's different. Oh, okay, all right.
But the fact that you laughed means I knew exactly right away that you knew exactly what I was talking about.
And if anybody was wondering, before we get off the air today, Shane is back in town.
Shane is back in town.
He just didn't.
I didn't tell him today's.
I told him. Did I tell him what time today's podcast was? I don't know. He's a ghost member now, like a ghost member of our podcast. So.
He's really tan though.
He is really tan.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Sunshine's been good for that man.
And he's gotten pretty lean.
He has gotten lean. That's another one of our members who has really taken this time to cut. So it looks good.
Yeah, I remember like making fun of him all winter. Not because I thought he was overweight or anything like that. I'd never make fun of him for that. I'd just make fun of him for the usual things.
Should we start telling Shane all the time that winter is coming? you think that would give him a complex about putting weight back on?
Oh yeah. No, I don't think he's a winner gainer or anything like that.
I don't think so either. Still don't think I'm gonna tell him winter's coming.
I think he's just working out a lot. Yeah,
He is. He looks good.
Yeah.
Well, we enjoyed it.
You know who looks good? You guys.
Yes, it is good to see everybody back in the gym. So, 100%, except for Chris. Chris, you ever watch the show, The Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. Your hair.
Oh my god.
You knew I was going there with that.
Bro.
You knew I was going there with that. It looks good. I like it. Do you not like it?
I don't not like it. I don't.
Got you.
But will I do it again? I don't know if I'll go that close on the sides.
You see where I'm coming from?
I think I look like maybe like a character off the Vikings that goes to Panera Bread.
There's no Panera Bread on the Vikings. Like,
exactly, dude. Like he's half in, half out.
So you're not a
He's
character?
like, yeah, I gotta rate at 6, but I need to go eat my gluten-free baguette at 4:30.
That's awesome. Well, you guys have a great week. We'll get back with you next week.
Oh, I have to be. We all have our interns, so I actually have to shut it off.